The UCLA Bruins, hey, they won 4 games and the Aztecs won 2. So this was a big rebuilding first step, a lot of mystery and question marks, and some have been answered, and some, for both clubs, have not. I have a personal question for Brady. I hope it's not a stupid question. I used to go through that with Marty Schottenheimer when I did the Charger games, and I would say, Marty, this might be a dumb question, and Marty would say, you think that's the only one? just get boom, boom all the time. But you have an undefeated team. You've been a head coach. You've been in national championships as an assistant coach with Michigan. With all that and a bowl game last year, were you nervous personally? You got your first game with San Diego State. You're on the sideline. It is the Rose Bowl. But again, last time you were there, '97, you guys were winning the national championship for Michigan. Did you have butterflies or not?
I think you always have butterflies, and you're anxious to see. And I think we as a staff were anxious to see our guys go out there, the 77th team at San Diego State, go play. But once the game starts, for me, that's the fun part. And being in the ball game, competing, and watching our coaches work, and watching these guys play, and meeting with the defensive linemen when they come off the field, and going over to the offensive linemen and talking to them. I mean, that's what I enjoy about coaching, is being around those kids.
And those kids, in terms of, I know you're busy and you get all these things going through your mind, but in addressing them, I'm really curious. And did you see any of the wide eyes? Was any wide eyes? And what was the gist, not word for word, the gist of your message when you got them and then gave them the Rockney thing early on?
Well, I thought our guys were ready to play. I think they mentally prepared. I think physically they had prepared. I think, before the ball game, we talked about playing 60 minutes and not worrying about making mistakes, just play with great physicalness, great toughness, great effort, and play as fast as you can and play for 60 minutes. Our goal was, to get the game into the fourth quarter, because that's when games can be really settled. And we were close to getting to where we wanted to, but we got some things to learn and some things to do better.
I know you've emphasized the running game, and Al has said, by God, Al Borges, going to run or die trying. Not the first coach to say that, not the first Aztec coach to say that, but it's easier said than done. In terms of what you liked and what you didn't like about the running game, forget the numbers.
Sure.
In terms of who you liked and what you liked about it and where you go from here, you're not giving up on that. But you did pass, 71 times, and I'm assuming a lot of that was because you were behind.
Well, that had some of the reasons to do with it. There's no question. But and again, Ted, that's a pretty good front, when you look at Price and the guys, and Reggie Carter, the linebacker that UCLA had. But at the same time, we put ourselves behind the 8 ball a little bit. We were very successful throwing on first downs early in the game, and once you miss a couple of those and you get into the 2nd and 10s, now you get a little tougher time to run the football. But we will be committed to run the ball. I can promise you that.
Brady, tell me about Southern Utah. And again, Aztec fans have not seen them. I've never seen them play. Tell me about them. Well,
they're a team that has kind of grown up a lot. They won last week against Dixie State, 36-7. They have some guys who are transfers who come down to play. Their quarterback, Cade Cooper, is a guy who transferred from Oregon, a guy who was a scholarship player there. He's a lefty. He's got a really accurate arm. He was 16 for 19 the other day for 176 yards. They have a big offensive line, all 5 starters back defensively. They have some All-American guys. When you look at the linebacker they have is a tremendous football player. One of their safeties is another All-American, and really skilled when you look at wide receivers. And Tyson Poots is a guy for him who was an All-American first team, had 1,400 yards receiving a year ago, 83 catches. They really are a good football team, really well-coached football team. And Ed Lamb and his staff do a tremendous job. So we've got a lot of work to do, and the one thing we have to worry about is us. We have to make sure that we're preparing every day, we're understanding the plan, and we get our mentality so that we go out and we execute the plan.
You won't hate being home either. Beats being on the road, even though this was a fairly short trip. But hey, home is home.
There's no question. We're all excited to be in the queue and have our people there and our fans there, and it was great at UCLA, as you know, Ted. There were an awful lot of San Diego State fans there, and I can tell you that made us all feel really special, and it was great to see them all.
Grady, good luck here coming up on this one on Saturday night, and it will be. Hopefully the crowd is large, and hopefully they don't arrive like late for the fireworks. It's more important to see the game, and this game is right there, as you see, September 12th. 5:30 is the start, and you can have tickets. They are available at GoAztecs.com. Southern Utah, as noted, coming off a win, coming in here, and the Aztecs, there is no room, as they say in baseball. Failure is not an option. There is no chance. Can't do this 0-2 thing. So I imagine Brady will have the boys fired up. After this segment with Coach Hoke, he mentioned Trask. What he meant when he said Trask was Trask Iosefa, a senior player who has not a senior, who has had a lot of starts, and he's the old man of this offensive line and played well. And we'll talk with him as Aztec Now continues in a moment.